This movie is about selecting ranges mostly. We're going to use AutoSelect. We're going to select a region, the current region with the ribbon. We'll use CTRL+A to select the current region, and we'll use CTRL+A to select the entire worksheet. We're going to look at selecting non-contiguous ranges and do a little review of selecting rows and columns. So I've got my data again from the Bureau of Labor Statistics showing the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, using the base year 82 to 84, where the numbers in the cells are a multiple of the base year. Cross-referencing the year and the month, you can then determine how much money you need to spend to buy the equivalent of what you could buy in 82 to 84. So I'm going to use this again to demonstrate some selection options, beginning with AutoSelect. First, I'll click within the range, the contiguous range, hold the Shift key down, and go over to the edge. Can be any edge. In this case, I'm going to start at the right edge until I get my 4-arrowed cross and double-click. And AutoSelect will select the cells between the active cell to the edge of the contiguous range of cells that contain data. I can go to the other side, the left side, and do the same thing. And now I've selected the full range from left to right horizontally in my contiguous range of data. I can do the same thing by double-clicking the top and then double-clicking the bottom. Again, I'm holding down the Shift key as I'm doing all of this. This would be a good way to select cells within a region that's everything above, to the left, to the right, or below the active cell within your region. If you want to select the entire area, the entire region, the current region, which is what we ended up doing, there's better ways to do that. One of the better ways to select the current region, which is what we just did, is first I'm going to left-click within the contiguous range of data, is to use a command in the editing group on the Home tab. You'll find it in the drop-down in the Find and Select. Go to Special, left-click, Current Region, choose that, left-click OK, and we've selected the same area that we did with a lot more keystrokes using AutoSelect. Obviously, if this was a very large range, this would be a more convenient way to select the current region than the way we did it with AutoSelect. But there's a better way to do it still. I'm going to left-click and just select a cell. A much more quicker way is to press CTRL+A, and we instantly have selected the current region. If we want to select the entire workbook, from here we select CTRL+A again, and we've selected the entire workbook. There's another way to select the entire workbook, and that's to left-click this box right here. For non-contiguous ranges, you kind of have to learn to work the Control and the Shift key. I'm going to select a few non-contiguous ranges and use a couple of different techniques when I'm holding the Shift key down to select each range. First, I'm going to select a region by left-clicking and dragging. Now I'm going to press the Control key and select a beginning point, release the Control key, press the Shift key, and left-click to select my second area. Pressing and holding the Control key again, I'll left-click June, pressing the Shift key, and then end down arrow, I go to the bottom of the contiguous range of cells, and I've got my third range selected, releasing the Shift key, going back and holding the Control key again. I left-click August, pressing the Shift key after releasing the Control key. I'm going to end right arrow and then end down arrow and select that contiguous range of data. So I've got several different options on my way to selecting non-contiguous ranges. The last thing I want to cover, we covered in another movie, but it is relevant when you're selecting data because your data is in columns and rows, and that is selecting an entire column and an entire row. It's easy to do. Column J, I want to select it, left-click J. To select a contiguous range, hold the Shift key down, just like if you're selecting cells, left-click M. Hold the Control key down for a non-contiguous range. I'm selecting P. I can drag over to S, and now I've got two non-contiguous ranges of columns selected. You can do the same thing with rows. Select a row, left-click and drag, Control key, left click and drag, left click and drag, and so on. So we covered a few more ways to select your data. We looked at AutoSelect, which combined with the Shift key can allow you to select all of the contiguous cells that contain data to the right, left, above, or below the active cell. You can select the current region with the ribbon, going to the editing group on the Home tab, drop down Find and Select, go to Special, and then selecting Current Region. But better yet, you can select the current region by pressing CTRL+A one time, and then to select the entire worksheet, press CTRL+A again. You can, of course, select the entire worksheet by left-clicking the box to the upper left-hand corner of the worksheet. We can select non-contiguous ranges by selecting a range, pressing and holding the Control key, and left-clicking on a point that's within the second range we want to select. We can release the Control key, go back to the Shift key, and use the Shift key functionality to help define the second range. Release the Shift key, hold the Control key once again, and define yet a third range, a fourth range, and so on. And we did a real brief review of selecting columns and rows, both contiguous and non-contiguous.